because that's the problem with economics, you can just believe what you want. Are there any positive signs from post-Brexit economy? Well, yeah, I just showed you the retail sales. That would look pretty punchy. It's not as if all of the numbers have been kind of downright negative so far, but the truth of the matter is, okay, it's going to take some months before we actually get the figures that are relevant. So really you need to look at the numbers for July, and we're only starting to get through some of those numbers. But that BRC number, the retail sales one, was one of the first ones we got. Alex asks why FTSE 100 shares have increased. I kind of answered that one when I was talking about dollars. Partly it's a consequence of the dollar effect, so the dollar is worth more compared with pounds, and these shares are mostly listed in pounds, therefore suddenly something which was, you know, $100 looks a lot more kind of valuable in pounds terms. And partly it's because the Bank of England has just said it's going to pump 170 billion pounds, literally printing that money and pumping it into the market. Actually, it's not quite literally, but electronically printing it, pumping it into the market. That always pushes up share prices. Do you want to see another graph? Do you? Yes. Thumbs up. Are there thumbs? People are thumbing? Okay, all right. I don't know why. It shouldn't be that exciting. I'm going to show you one more chart, which I quite like. You need to get close to this. This is really exciting. Trade. Okay. Now, the trade deficit, everyone talks about the trade deficit in the UK and just how we're really reliant on overseas, bringing in lots of goods, bringing in lots of exports from other countries around the world. Now, it's certainly the case that the UK's had this big trade deficit where we rely on other countries like China, like Germany, to buy all of our stuff for quite some time. And that's what you can see in this blue kind of set of bars here. This is the trade balance, so the extent to which we are importing more goods than we export. It's the trade deficit, as they call it. And right now, look at it, it's about £12 billion in deficit. That is pretty enormous, and that's because we are reliant on China, we are reliant on Germany, we are reliant on Europe and other parts of the world for buying goods. We just don't make that much stuff in the UK. But what we do in the UK, and you may work in one of these industries as well, we do retail really well. We do legal services, we do financial services, we do architecture, we do music, we do lots of things which are service-based transactions. And so what does the services balance look like? Have a look at this. That is our balance in the trade of services. Actually, we export far more services than we import. That's what we're good at, basically, services right now. And that brings in a lot of money. Admittedly, you can see those bars, they're not quite as big as the bars at the bottom for goods. And so the upshot of that is the total trade balance. Let me get rid of that circle that I made. The total trade balance is still in negative territory. You see that that's the zero there, basically. And you can see that is in negative territory. It's about minus £5 billion, which is not to be sniffed at. But nonetheless, you see the point here. We do some things well, and that's services. We don't really do goods particularly well. But the key thing is, the pound has fallen very sharply recently. And what does the pound falling do? It means that you can